Hi everyone, welcome back to our reading of A Galaxy of Her Own, and we are now on some people that I think you'll find very interesting, and we're not just talking about one person, we are talking about the Waltham Little Old Ladies. They were textile workers and watchmakers, and they were around in the United States in the 1960s. The Apollo Guidance Computer, or AGC, was groundbreaking. But even so, it was nothing like the computers of today. We are used to handheld smartphones and tablets on which programs can easily be installed and uninstalled. When the AGC was being designed in the 1960s, computer disks were extremely fragile. There was no way that they would survive the vibrations and G-force of a rocket launch. Instead, the engineers who designed the computer use rope memory. Computer code language is made up of ones and zeros, which was written into words to tell the computer what to do. Rope memory is made up of rings and fine wire coppers. A wire going through a ring represents a 1, and a 1 going around the outside, an O, together writing the instructions for a computer. When the engineers looked at their designs, they saw that the AGC would require thousands of details and painstakingly handmade parts. They turned to the women of Waltham, Massachusetts, experts in textile weaving and making watches. To build the rope memory, 2 women would sit opposite each other in front of a loom. They would read the written computer program and weave it into the rope by passing a needle with the copper wire in it backwards and forwards. The work was painstakingly slow. One program could take several months to weave, and errors were time-consuming to correct. The ladies knew that the lives of the astronauts going to the moon depended on their handiwork, so they did their utmost to produce work to the very best standards. The engineers who wrote the programs nicknamed this technique the LOL method, after little old ladies, though this was a hugely misleading description. These women were so important and skilled that sometimes they were paid just to do nothing, to make sure they weren't busy on another job when they were needed. The process of making the rope memory was very cumbersome, but it meant that it was impossible for the program to be deleted. When Apollo 12 was struck by lightning just 36 seconds after liftoff, the sudden electrical discharge through the rocket knocked some systems offline. Thanks to the rope memory, the computers rebooted themselves. Mission Control responded to the problem, and the crew continued on the way to orbit, and then the moon. Sadly, so many of the names of the women who spent hours lovingly building these computers appear, for now, to be lost in time, but their contributions have not been forgotten. And this is an illustration of what they might have looked like when they were doing that rope code, sitting opposite each other. And here is a quote from one of the ladies who we do know her name, Mary Lou Rogers, who was one of the ladies that worked on the Apollo line. We used to go to the cafeteria and astronauts would come in. They'd explain the moonshot and thank us for what a good job we were doing.